Anytime you're going to be working with any form of plastic, it's probably good for wood too, but I'm not putting wood underneath the seat. You need to pre-drill your holes for your screws. Don't just try to drill right into this material. It doesn't like that. It doesn't work like wood where it wants to, you know, push itself out. It's very dense. It doesn't like that. Blown PVC, you can kind of get away with it, but it still really doesn't like it. We have our 4 screw holes for the amplifier here, and then these are going to be our power wire, the bass knob, and the subwoofers are gonna fall through this hole. They'll all be going underneath it. The rest of them will be coming over the top. Now, to make my life easy, I will set this up on a riser so that I don't bend this leg. And that gets us the first step of the journey. On the back side of this, these are pretty sharp and pointy. I like to take my grinder and grind these flush so that I don't accidentally add any more damage to my body. There we go. The only input I have to use on this is input 1. Everything is going to come from that. And that is these 2 little wires way over here. The rest of these are not going to be used. Now this is one of those things where it's like, okay, well I don't want to cut them off and I don't want to lose them, but I don't need all of this on there, and I definitely can't leave the ends like this. We have to shrink it up just a little bit, so we'll remove the soldered ends here, and then, because I'm paranoid, I will put 16th inch little tiny pieces of heat shrink over the ends, and I will start with these 2, like so. I'll grab the next 2, and just like I had talked about, I don't like to have a big ball of RCAs. I don't want a big ball of heat shrink either, so I'll cut these 2 a little shorter, add the heat shrink to insulate the ends, and so on and so forth until I make it all the way back over to this white wire here. And there we have it. I have the 2 wires that are my inputs, both left and right, and everything else has a nice insulated end on it. I can plug that in for right now. One of the thoughts I was having is the load resistor. Most of the time I put it behind the radio, but I'm gonna have to find some place to put it behind there, and that's fine. However, I do have room right here for it, which is awfully appealing. It's like, I could just put it right there. Let me look in the dash real quick. That momentary lapse of reason figured out, we can now move on to our speaker outputs. Flipping the plug upside down, plugging it in, realizing that this is number 1. This is going to be 7 and 8. Put those through here, like so. All right, that gets those out of the way, and then the rest of these can come off and do something like this. Probably just keep them just like this. That way they can go underneath into the area underneath the air vents, and then this will just come more or less just like this. I'm gonna put braided sleeving over this because I really don't want to see any of this. This I'll probably leave just like this until I get inside of here, in which case then I'll insulate it. The same for the subwoofer wire. All right, now, since we have our course of action and what we're going to do, we need wire to go up to the front. We have 6 wires that we need for the tweeter mid and mid bass. And then we have 2 sets of wires that we need for the left and right. To do that, we will run the same twisted colors that Fernando ran. How that works, so we'll run a gray and a white, that'll be positive on all of them, with a yellow to be the tweeter. A blue will be our mid, and then we'll run a brown with this for our mid bass, because the white and gray with black will be our input wires. That way we can put them all in the same harness to go up to behind the radio. Need to twist a bunch of wires together. I've twisted up all the wires. It's in this big bundle. I need to pull out the white and blacks and the gray and black, and the rest I'll just set off to the side over here. And these 2 are going to get attached into here. Add on your heat shrink. Make sure to pay attention to where the black stripe is. I like to roll the wire around in my fingers and watch it change. That way I know which one it is. Add some solder. Let it cool for just a second. Slide the heat shrink over. And done. Repeat the process. Now with both of those ready to go, as I said, I want to put some braided loom over this portion of it here, mainly just to cover all of this nonsense. Add some small pieces of tape just to keep the wire grouped together, about 3 inches apart. You don't want it to be too close because you want to make sure there's plenty of flexibility. It'll just make adding the braided loom easier. So basically something like this. Add the heat shrink on there to finish off the end. There we have it. This will sit just like this. In order to do that, we'll break out the wire ruler and our 9/64 drill bit. Figure out where I want my first zip tie to go. The color for the wire ruler, it comes in 3, blue, green, and orange. And it's clear, and the reason why it's clear is so that you can see through it in order to figure out where your last hole was. And also, if we made it not colored, you'd lose it on your workbench. All right, now we're gonna add in the zip ties for this. And the direction of the zip tie is just as important as anything that you're going to be doing with this. The head on the zip tie has got to go one direction or the other, meaning it's either going to be on this side or it's going to be on this side. Because we're going to be running more wiring on here, we want to make sure that the head is on the outside. That way, if we need to run back through the hole, the head isn't in the way of blocking the hole. Makes sense, right? The other thing to keep in mind is when the head is on the bottom of the material, you have to make sure that you have room for the head. In this case, there's carpet. It is going to be just fine. But if you were going to be putting it on metal or something like that, you might not have room for the head on the back side, in which case you'll want to make sure you put it on the front side or your panel won't lay flat. The zip ties I'm putting in are not being pulled tight. They're just going into the holes. With all of those in, now we can manhandle the wire a little bit and figure out where we want these things to go. One bit of advice when putting in your zip ties: if the zip tie happens to go over, like, let's say a solder point, don't pull that zip tie super tight. Just put it there. If it's there for looks at this case, so just put it on there and leave it loose. You don't want to pull those super tight and run the risk of you accidentally had, let's say, a sharp point in your solder, and now that's going to come through your heat shrink and cause a short. So you do have to apply a little bit of common sense when doing that. Our solder points are way over here, so it worked out perfect. Now we have to add our wiring to these guys, our outputs. And remember, this started with one over here, this starts with one over here. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that the clip here is on the top. With this, the clip is on the bottom. And I only point this out because I've screwed this up. And nothing sucks worse than having to cut it all off and start over again. So pay attention. 1 and 2 are going to be first. 1 and 2 are going to be white with yellow and gray with yellow. The yellow is going to be our negative, and the white and gray are going to be our positive. That means on these two wires, number 1 here, the positive is clear and the negative is striped. And number 2 here, the red is striped and the negative is clear. Add the heat shrink onto the wire first, then strip it, twist the ends, strip and twist the ends to our speaker wires. Number 1 is white with yellow. Grabbing my number 1 here, my clear is positive. Twist those two together, and I have a black stripe. that will go off to my yellow. Apply solder. Let it cool for just a minute. We'll work on our second one. Number 2, red, positive is going to be gray. Clear is going to be negative, which will be yellow. Now, if you're this far along in the video and you're wondering where we came up with this color code, white, gray, green, and purple are the 4 standard colors in a harness, just like this. So white is driver's front, gray is passenger front, green is driver's rear, purple is passenger rear. The negatives, why we've chosen, let's say, this color, yellow, is because this is going off to a tweeter. And a tweeter is typically a bright speaker. So we use a bright color to represent that speaker. Blue, mid-range, a little bit more mellow. And then brown, mid-bass. It could either be brown or black. It just depends how we feel that day and what we're doing. Plays a lower frequency. Brown is on a color spectrum, a lower color. That's why we pick the colors we pick. It makes sense and it doesn't. Using a fatter wire like this stuff here, I like to let the solder point cool to the touch before I start to put my heat shrink on it. That allows me to use this smaller heat shrink as opposed to going to a bigger heat shrink. But in order to do that, you have to make sure that this is nice and cool. Otherwise, as you're sliding it over, it will melt a little bit and then you'll get stuck. And there we go. First 2 wires away. I have 4 more to do. And there we have it. Our wires are now attached. I added this piece of shrink wrap here kind of to add like a transition from the way this is laid out into the way this is going to lay out. And I didn't go over the top of these because then it would not be serviceable. That would be silly. Shrink up the shrink wrap. Now these are located at the same length, and so from here I can bundle these all together and get them up into the dash, and that's really the only wiring I have going that way. These are still waiting to get soldered to the subwire that is already in the vehicle, so we'll do that once we get into the car. The power wire is already in the car, so that will come into here. I do need to add a tip to it. I need to get the base knob plugged in, and I need to get my ground wire taken care of. But before I do all of that, I want to get this all buttoned up and taken care of. And to do that, I need to add some tape to it, which I'm going to start it here after this connection. I don't want to cover this connection with one big run of tape. That would make servicing very difficult. So we'll start with this and add this the whole length. When bundling up wire like this is going to create a bundle about the size of a 0 gauge. This is big. You kind of have to, before you just do this, you have to make sure you have room to run something this size. You might not, in which case you're going to want to split it into smaller groups that are easier to tuck into place. Fortunately for us, where this is going to go, this won't be a problem, but that is something to think about before you start bundling stuff up, is make sure you have that room. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting this tape and you'll have to peel it all off, and that won't be any good.